Hello, my name is Siobhan McGuckin. I'm the Pupil Progress Coordinator in the school, and one of the things that I'm responsible for, and I'm going to talk you through, is the progress tracking and reporting on your child throughout the year. Okay, so one of the things that you will need to be aware of as new Year 7 parents is our system of progress tracking. So we're checking and tracking the achievement of your child and their attitude to learning. So I'm going to talk you through some of that. So the system that we have in place is called PT, or progress tracking. So throughout the year, you'll get information on your child's progress and their attitude to learning. They'll get an interim report, which I'll go through in a second. And what that'll show is the end of year target for each subject. It'll be EOY. Their progress tracking, so how they're doing based on classwork, homework, maybe tests or assessments they're doing in class. Then it's colour coded against their end of year target, and that'll become apparent in a second when I show you that. And then their attitude to learning, which I'm going to go through first. So they'll be given an attitude to learning grade, for want of a better term, based on these criteria. It's pretty straightforward. So excellent, always works to the very best of his or her ability. Good, generally takes part. Down to cause for concern when minimal effort is made. What I would say is actually, as a new Year 7 parent, this is probably where my focus would be initially. Are they settling in? Is their attitude to learning good? And those are probably the conversations I'd be focused on, maybe a bit more so than the level early on. I would probably expect that everybody's attitude to learning should be good or excellent. If it's improvement required, then there's a bit of inconsistency and there might be some conversations to be had there. So this is an example of one from a pupil last year. So you can see all the subjects down the left-hand side, then the end of year target. And then we've got PT1, which is showing their level against that target. So if they're on track, it'll be green. If they're 1 below, it'll be yellow. 2 below would be red, etc. And then we've got their attitude to learning. Underneath, they've also got some information on expressive arts, humanities, and I Aspire, which are kind of assessed in a slightly different way. But that will be apparent in the interim report that you get. As I said, with this pupil, for example, I might be saying, you're doing really well in Welsh, but you know, what happened in science? Why were you a bit inconsistent? Or in English when PT2 came around? So those are some of the conversations I might have if that was my child. The other thing the interim report will do is show any behaviour issues that may have arisen. So this pupil had 4 B1s at this point. So this was at the end of January. But also it picked up a number of achievement points. So that's a really positive thing. And then it also shows the percentage attendance for each month up to that point. I suppose the point is that the interim report is a basis for you to have conversations with your child about what's going on in school. In addition to the interim report, you'll get an annual report for your child, which you will be used to from primary school, although ours might be happening at a slightly different stage. You probably got yours at the end of the school year in primary school. I'll give you the dates in a second for ours. Okay. Interim reports and annual reports can be shared via the parent app. So it's really important that you get that if you haven't. As long as you've given us an up-to-date email address, you should have received an activation email and login instructions. But I would say if you haven't, then you really do need to contact the school and you need to get the app. It'll also send you things. So if your child picks up a B1, you'll get a notification of that. So you'll know that immediately. The kids don't necessarily like that because they know that you know that they haven't been behaving. But it'll also send you notification of achievement points, and then you can congratulate them instantly rather than waiting for the interim report to come out. This is just an idea of what a report would look like. So you'll have some information from their form tutor and then from their progress and wellbeing leader. And then you'll have information from each subject. So it'll talk about how they're doing, what they've done, any targets, what their attitude to learning is like, what they're like as a learner, and you'll get that information on every subject. So this is just kind of a bit of a flavour of what that might look like. But that more or less sums up anything you would need to know about progress tracking. If there are any questions, obviously contact the school, contact your progress and wellbeing leader, but I'm sure it'll all become apparent. Thanks for listening.